New details show a suspended Holland police officer considered murdering his wife for more than a year and told police he followed through on that plan for his children. 24-Hour News 8's Joe LaFurgey was in court today as officers told of Ken DeCline's admission of guilt, his wife's dying words, and a trip to McDonald's after the killing.
I recognize it as the DeCline residence.
It was a strange sight. Ken DeCline, his police blue uniform replaced by a jail green jumpsuit. His former co-workers testifying against him.
Well, I've known Lori as long as I've known Ken, approximately 13 years. Her children, my son, go to the same school.
Holland Police Sergeant Jeff Veldhuis was the first to reach the DeCline's home after their teenage son found his mother's body in the basement. But it soon became apparent that what was set up to look like a suicide was a homicide. Investigators found too many inconsistencies. Their suspicions were confirmed when Ken DeCline was questioned for a third time the next day. DeCline then laid out the crime, how he first considered the murder on January 31st of last year, the day his wife filed a personal protection order against him. On the day of the murder, he crawled into the attic of the home at 3 in the morning. Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant Gary Miles testified DeCline admitted to hiding in the attic for several hours until his children left for school. About mid-morning, he climbed down from the attic and confronted his wife.
And his words were he more or less forced his way past her into the kitchen.
Then, using a strap he'd purchased and wearing police-issued rubber gloves, DeCline allegedly strangled his wife. She fought back, biting his lips till it bled. In court, the detective told of Lori DeCline's last words.
She made a statement, "Think of the kids." And he tells me that he said to her, "I am thinking of the kids." And then he continued to tighten this around her throat until he believed she died.
These divorce records obtained by 24-Hour News 8 shed some light on Ken DeCline's frame of mind. DeCline expressed concerns over his wife's mental stability and her ability to provide their 2 teenage children with a safe and stable home. In the petition for custody, DeCline claims his wife had suffered from mental illness and had attempted suicide. He also insinuates his wife was having an affair with the therapist she was seeing.
Continued with the rest of his plan, which was to drag her down the basement and then set up the appearance of a suicide.
But DeCline's plan began to unravel. He was unable to set up a convincing suicide scenario. DeCline left his wife's home, went to a med center to stitch his lip.
He then went across the street or somewhere nearby to a McDonald's, bought himself a chocolate shake.
That was Joe LaFurgey reporting. The judge decided there was enough evidence to send DeCline to trial. DeCline is currently on an emergency unpaid suspension from the department.